Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you're having a great day, and I hope this video can make it a little bit better. Today we're going to be breaking down constellations and how you really should be trying to go through them. Now we're not going to be going over Constellation's power or anything like that. We've done other videos about that. This is just going to be going through the currencies, telling you what they're used for, how you should really think about using them, and then in general just how constellations work, just so you can get the most out of this new system. Now up first, we're going to talk about the different currencies. So if you want to get to this currency tab, you hit this button right here next to your wild fragments. This is going to take you to all of the different currencies. Now we're going to start at the bottom because this is kind of the most familiar to us. So you can see these are all the fragments for all of your different champions. Most of the upgrades, or almost all of the upgrades in your constellations, are going to take your champion fragments, and they're going to take a lot of them. Now there's some upgrades that just take champion fragments, but all of the new star powers do take the champion fragments in addition to another resource. Also note that you have your wild fragments listed here. Your wild fragments can be used in place of champion fragments anywhere in the constellation. Sometimes the UI won't really show that you have the option to use them unless you actually get the exact amount, or at least enough to get the upgrade. But just because you don't see it in the Constellation menu sometimes doesn't mean you can't actually use them. But we'll give you some examples of that later. So first up, for the new currencies, we have the gemstones. As you see, each of these currencies are all split by region, which is fairly annoying, but that's the approach Riot has decided to go with. The gemstones, though, these are kind of the least important. This is more of a end game system of once you've fully maxed out everything else in the constellation, you can spend some gemstones to get some other helpful upgrades. Now these upgrades are fairly minor and they're not the main draw for the constellation, and these are the only upgrades that just take gemstones. They don't take anything else, including champion fragments. But these upgrades are kind of the least important, and as far as resources, also the least important. You'll just get this passively from some different chests and, well, vessels. But out of the new currencies, these are really the least important. Next up then, we have the star crystals. Now these are specifically used for the 4th and the 5th star power. For the 4th star power, you're going to need 10 of the star crystals to unlock it, as well as 60 champion fragments. And then for the 5th star power, you're going to need 40 of these crystals, as well as 80 champion fragments. We'll show you an example constellation in a moment, so don't worry about not remembering the numbers exactly, but just know to fully max out a constellation, you're going to need 50 of these star crystals. Again, all split up by region. Now the last of the currencies are these nova shards and nova crystals. Now once you get 100 of these nova shards, you can turn them into a nova crystal. Now this nova crystal is how you unlock the 6th and final star power in your constellation, and you get that in addition to 100 champion fragments. So you need both of those together in order to unlock the 6th star. So now that we've gone over all the currencies, let's go take a look at how they'll actually function in a constellation. So here we have Talia, one of the champions that unfortunately I've gotten no shards for, so I haven't been able to upgrade at all. So as you see, first you have your normal 3-star powers you see right here. And we're not really going to be going over the powers because that's not really the point of the video. But after you have your 3-star powers, you'll have your 4th star power. Now, it's not always immediately the node after, but normally, shortly after, you'll have your 4th star power. And you see right here, 60 of your champion fragments, and then 10 of the star crystals. Now, as you see here, it doesn't show any of the wild fragments. Now, I have wild fragments, but I don't have enough to completely get this upgrade, so it's not even listing it as an option. Now, from your 4th star power, you can really branch off and go wherever you want, and you don't even necessarily need to get your 4th star power. But to get any upgrade, it has to be connected to an existing upgrade, so you have to follow the lines. Here, we only have the option of getting the 4th star power, so we'd have to get this first, but then from here, we can choose to either go over and get this upgrade, or this upgrade. As you see, both of these are not star power upgrades, it's just additional power you're able to get, and it just takes those champion fragments. So of the new currencies, you don't actually necessarily need to use them for a lot of the upgrades, just kind of the more big important ones. Now you can get these upgrades in any order as long as they are connected. So I could go up here, fill out all of these, and then go and fill out some of these branches. Or I could get like this upgrade and then immediately come over. Some people, when they hear choice, they think that you can only get a certain amount. That's not the case. You can get everything in the entire constellation. Your only choice is the order that you get them in. So don't worry and think you're locking yourself out from any power. You can get everything. It's just going to take time and resources. And also, you don't have to get the star powers in order. You see up here, we have the mana flow. So this is the 5th star power, and the 6th one is down here. You could come down and get this first. You don't actually have to go and get the star powers in order. Again, though, to get any upgrade, you have to have it connected to an existing node to one of the powers you already have. You can't like skip ahead and try to immediately get the 5th star power. It's not like, oh, you have the 4th star power, so you can immediately go and get the 5th one. I've had a lot of questions, especially in Twitch chat, where people wondering why they can't buy a certain upgrade, and it's because they were trying to skip ahead. You have to be connected to your constellation. But again, let's just take a look. So we have the 4th star, 60 and 10, the 5th star, 80 and 40, and then for the 6th star, you need 100 champion fragments and your 1 Nova crystal. Now, the gemstones are normally all together, and you see they're branching off here, and these are ones that they don't take anything but the gemstones, and they're giving you some nice little upgrades, and then some of them can affect all of your champions. So if we would be able to get this, it would give us 1 reroll for any Shurima champion. Quite nice. Or XP for all Shurima champions. So nice benefits, and some of them can affect more of your entire account, but these are going to be very long end game systems that's going to take you a long time to unlock, and really not the priority of the constellation, just more of a little bit of a bonus. All right, let's give some more examples for how these actually work. So here we have Viego's Constellation. As you see here, your first 3 star powers, and then right here, this isn't the 4th star. This is just another upgrade. Then you go here, again, not the 4th star power, just a couple upgrades. So not all of them will have your 4th star power immediate. Now from here, you could go over and get your 4th star power, or you get your 5th one. As you see, I actually skipped the 5th star power and then continued on and got the 6th star power. So you don't have to get them in order. As long as you are connected, you can go to whatever node you want. Also here, we have the Ash Constellation. For this next power, even though I have 0 Ash fragments, you see I could buy this because I have 40 of the wild fragments or wild shards. So it only shows up as an option if you can actually get it right now and have enough. But if I take a look at another upgrade, you see it just shows the champion fragments. It doesn't show anything about the wild fragments. So even though you might see this in the constellation, that doesn't mean you can't actually use your wild fragments for these. It's just that it's not going to show you that option until you actually have this node unlocked and ready to buy, and you have enough of the fragments. Now, as far as the wild fragments go, or wild shards, I think they're technically called, you don't really want to use them to flat out buy an upgrade. Unless it's a very powerful upgrade, normally what you want to be using your wild fragments for is just to finish off an upgrade. So let's say one of these upgrades, they take 40. So if you had like 30 ash fragments and then 10 wild fragments, that would be fine. I don't think you should go over 50%. So I think at the most, you should have 20 ash fragments and then 20 of the wild shards to get an upgrade. But normally you want to be saving your wild fragments because they're very valuable. You don't necessarily get a lot of them. You want to be saving those to just help finish off upgrades here and there and try to be as efficient with them as possible. Now, one last thing to note, since these are all split up by region, that is going to be a major limiter to you. And I would say try to prioritize the champions that need these upgrades more. So Freljord, I think, is a perfect example of this. You have Ash as well as Volibear. The Ash Constellation has way more powerful upgrades in it than the Volibear one, and Ash is in general a weaker champion than Volibear. So trying to save your fragments to help Ash over your Volibear, I think would be a smart choice. For these Freljord Star Crystals, try to make sure you have enough to upgrade Ash. Now, you're still going to be limited by your champion fragments, but if you're close to an upgrade on both, probably try to save and make sure you have enough of these resources to get the upgrades for the more important champion. I think this is especially important for the Nova Crystal, because you're not going to get a lot of these, so try to make sure you're using them for the right champion. Again, Ash and Volibear is a great example. I think the Ash 6-star is much more impactful than the Volibear one. So if I got a Freljord crystal, I would probably try to save it and use it for Ash instead of Volibear. All right, that's it from me. I hope this video was able to help you out and let you better understand the Constellation system. If it did help you out, then a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And I hope you all have a great day.